Hello everyone, Blitz here. I got some more ideas for a Ninjago spinoff show. If you haven't seen my last video, check it out and see what you think of those ideas. And I also gave reasons why Ninjago succeeded and talked about the world building of Ninjago. This might be my last video about this topic of spinoff shows. I might be showing a lack of interest for the idea, and I'm not going to go heavy on the pictures here. The first idea here is Mistake the Oni. This show would take the perspective of the Oni side, where Mistake fights in the War of Dragon and Oni, and by the end of the season, it where we see she and some of the Oni leave the first realm to go search for the first Ninjutsu Master, where they go through all the realms and they end up in Ninjago to face off against the first Ninjutsu Master. And Mistake falls in love with the realm of Ninjago and wants to protect the realm. And in the present time, she could have some side adventures, run her tea shop while the ninja are off on their own adventures. This could be a 1 or 2 season show, or this can be thrown in my last idea show with the first Ninjutsu Master. The second idea here is Harumi the Quiet One. This could be a 1, possibly 2 season where we saw the Great Devourer battle from her perspective and getting adopted by the royal family. And over the years, where we see her form the Sons of Garmadon before the start of season 8, and possibly, if for a second season, we see her work under the Overlord and the things she experienced. And we get to see more of Ninjago's underworld. The third idea here is Scales Jr. and the Serpentine. This will follow Scales Jr., where he will learn and grow to become the next Serpentine King. And we get to know more about the Serpentine, where he goes on some adventures and he makes friends with a human, where they fight against injustice of both species, and that human and snakes can be friends, and that some snakes want to return to their old ways and want revenge on the people of Ninjago. The fourth idea here is Sons of the First Ninjutsu Master. This could be a 2 or 3 season show where it focuses on ruined Garmadon past. This is before the Serpentine Wars and before the start of the series. This one will focus on the 2 brothers in their teen and young adult years, going over everything they did within their life before they met the ninja. They would go on adventures, people they met, relationships they had, the enemies they fought, people they trained, and the conflict between both of them. The bond they had collapsing before their eyes, and the history of Ninjago form around the show. The fifth idea here is a show based on one of the present-day Elemental Masters, except Skylar. I already had a show idea for her. The show could be for the Elemental Master of Metal, or Speed, or Shadow, or one of the others. It can give us more insight on these characters, on one of these characters, get to know more about their life, where they are from, the relationships they have, the adventures they go on, and get to know more about their powers and the family members who had it before them. The sixth idea here is Akita the Foamling of the Never Realm. This could be a 1 or 2 season show where it focuses on the people of the Never Realm after the events of season 11. That show more of Akita and her brother and her tribe, with the both of them going on adventures, struggling with the trauma of Vex and the Ice Emperor that did to their home realm, showing a few flashbacks that happened, them having conflict with new enemies, having a strong bond with her brother, them interacting with the village and the old king, and them understanding more of the realm. Sorry if I butcher any of the names here. The seventh idea here is Banthamar, the king of Melopia. This show will focus more on Melopia and the island inhabitants, showing more of the world building of both stories of the past, of both adventures that he would go on, and Benthamar grieving over his father and his brother. Even though Calamar was a villain, he still cared about him and many more things. Yeah, not much of an idea here, but anyone can come up with more. The next idea here is for Sokka, a non-bender. This will mainly focus on the adult gang, but a more focus on Sokka. That's a member on the Council of Republic City and a great fighter that helps the Avatar, Toph, and Zuko fight the injustice of the world, and where he goes on many adventures. Wait a minute, that's not the right idea. Wrong show idea, sorry guys. Alright, the next real actual idea here is Sensei Yang, the master of Irjitsu. This could be a 1 or 2 season show with 10 episodes each. This show will focus on Yang's life before he turned into a ghost. It will show him creating Irjitsu, him training his students, showing new characters, showing the people he met, the goals he wants to attain, showing his ambitions, showing him finding the yin blade and learning all kinds of martial art techniques, and possibly show that Rue met him before the date of departed, and at the end of the series, he turned himself, his students, into ghosts and cursed his temple. My last idea here is the magnificent Fugidove. If DC can give Kite Man, a Joe character, his own animated show, LEGO can do it for Fugidove. This will follow Fugidove going on adventures throughout Ninjago's criminal underworld, where we get to know more about the other prisoners like the Mechanic, Ultraviolet, Kilo, and many others, and where the police force don't believe he's an actual villain and everyone treats him like a joke, but he sure has an upbeat attitude just to go on adventures. That's pretty much it to the idea of the show. That's all the ideas I have for now. I might come up with a third part, but don't count on it. I don't have any bonus ideas. Which one of these ideas do you like the most and want to see as an actual show? All of these can't happen due to time and budget, and probably due to lack of interest to some characters. I'll see you all later with a different video. Bye.